In Chapter 6, Sri Krishna teaches Arjuna both how to meditate and what should be meditated upon. Yet he begins the chapter with teachings carried over from the prior chapter, where he explains sannyasa, or renunciation. Here, Sri Krishna describes true renunciation as giving up all your attachments, expectations, and prejudice.
Anashrita karma phalam karyam karma karoti yaha sasannyasi cha yogi cha na niragnir na chakriyah yam sanyasamiti prahur yogam tam vidhi pandava nahya sanyasta sankalpo yogi bhavati kaschana Arurukshormuneryogam karma karanamuchyate yogarudhasya tasyaiva shamak karanamuchyate yada hinendriyartheshu na karmasvanushajjate sarvasankalpa sannyasi yogarudhastadochyate Uddharetatmanatmanam natmanamavasadayet atmaiva hyatmano bandhur atmaiva ripuratmanah bandhuratmatmanastasya enatmaivatmana jitah anatmanastu shatrutve Tedatmaiva shatruvat jitatmanah prashantasya paramatma samahitah shitoshna sukha dukkeshu tata manapamanayoh jnana vijnana triptatma kutastho vijitendriyah yukta Yuchyate yogi samaloshtasma kanchanah suhrun mitraryudasina madhyasta dveshya bandhushu sadhushvapi cha phapeshu samabuddhir vishishyate.
After finishing the topic left over from the prior chapter, Sri Krishna now begins to teach Arjuna how to meditate. During a prolonged battle, warriors in those times actually returned to their respective camps each evening. So Arjuna has the opportunity to practice the meditation techniques he's taught each night and following morning.
Yogi yunjita satatam atmanam rahasi stitah ekakiyata chittatma nirashira parigrahah shuchau deshe pratishtapya sthiramasanamaatmanah natyutsritam nati nicham chailajina kushottaram Tatraikagram manah kritva yata chittendriyah kriyah upavishyasane yunjad yogamatma vishuddhaye samam kaya shiro grivam dharayanna chalam stirah samprekshya nasikagram swam dishashchanavalokayan Prashantatma vikatabhir brahmachari vrate stitah manasayyamyamatchitto yukta asita matparah yunjannevam sadatmanam yogi niyatamanasah shantim nirvana paramam matsamsthamadhigacchati.
Deep meditation requires a tremendously disciplined mind. You have to completely restrain your mind and carefully focus your attention within. Sri Krishna explains that such efforts can culminate in discovering your true inner self, Atma, to be the source of limitless happiness.
Natyashnatastu yogosti nachaikantam manashnataha nachati swapnashilasya jagrato naiva charjuna yuktahara viharasya yuktacheshtasya karmasu yuktaswapnavabodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha yada viniyatam chittam atmanyevavathishtate nihsprihas sarvakamebhyo yukta ityuchyate tada yatha deepo nivatasto nengate sopama smrita yogino yata chittasya yunjato yogamatmanaha yatro paramate chittam niruddham yoga sevaya yatra chaivatmanatmanam pashyannatmani tushyati sukam atyantikam yattad buddhigrahyam atindriyam veti yatra na chaivayam stitas chalati tattvataha yam labdhva cha param labham manyate nadhikam tataha yasmin stito na dukkhena gurnapi vichalyate.
Regular meditation practice can gradually lead you to discover the so-called inner divinity that abides within you. According to Sri Krishna, that inner divinity is, in fact, a manifestation of his own supreme nature. In this way, Sri Krishna himself dwells in you and in every living being.
Tam vidya dukkha sanyoga viyogam yoga sannitam sanishchayena yoktavyo yogo nirvinna chetasa sankalpa prabhavan kaman tyaktva sarvana sheshataha manasaivendriya gramam viniyamya samantataha kshanai kshanairuparamedh buddhya dhriti grihitaya atmasamstam manah kritva na kinchidapi chintayet yato yato nischarati manaschanchalamastiram tatastato niyamyaitad atmanyeva vasham nayet prashantamanasam hyenam yoginam sukhamuttamam upaiti shantarajasam brahmabhutamakalmasham yunjanyevam sadatmanam yogi vigatakalmashaha sukhena brahma samsparsham atyantam sukhamashnute sarvabhutastamatmanam sarvabhutani chatmani ikshate yoga yuktatma sarvatra samadarshanaha yo mam pashyati sarvatra sarvancha mayi pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sacha me na pranashyati sarvabhutassthitam yo mam bhajatyekattvamastitah sarvatha vartamanopi sayogi mayi vartate atmaupamyena sarvatra samam pashyati yorjuna sukham va yadi va dukkha एकं स योगी परमो मतः.
Next, in spite of Sri Krishna's powerful teachings on meditation, Arjuna complains that he is still unable to control his restless, agitated mind.
Yoyam yogastvaya proktaha samyena madhusudana yetasyaham na pashyami chanchalatvat sitim stiram chanchalam hi manah Krishna pramadi balabhadridam tasyaham nigraham manye Vayoriva sudushkaram.
असंशयं महाबाहो मनोदुर्निग्रहं चलम् अभ्यासेन तु कौन्तेय वैराग्येन च गृह्यते असंयतात्मना योगो दुष्प्राप इति मे मतिः वश्यात्मना तु यतता शक्यो वाप्तुम् उपायतः.
The chapter concludes with a discussion about what happens to a dedicated meditator who strives hard but fails to gain enlightenment in this lifetime. Are all his efforts wasted?
Ayati shraddhayopeto yoga chalita manasaha aprapya yoga samsiddhim kam gatim Krishna gacchati kachinno bhaya viprashtas chinna bramiva nashyati apratishto mahabaho vimudo brahmanah pati Etanme samshayam Krishna chetumarhasya sheshataha twadanya samshayasyasya chetanahyupapadyate.
पार्थनैवेह नामुत्र विनाशस्तस्य विद्यते न हि कल्याणकृत् कश्चित् दुर्गतिं तात गच्छति प्राप्य पुण्यकृतान् लोकान् उषित्वा शाश्वती समाः शुचिनां श्रीमतां गेहे योगभ्रष्टोऽभिजायते अथवा योगिनामेव कुले भवति धीमताम् एतद्धि दुर्लभतरं लोके जन्म यदीदृशम् तत्र तं बुद्धिसंयोगं लभते पौर्वदेहिकं यतते च ततो भूयः संसिद्धौ कुरु नन्दन पूर्वाभ्यासेन तेनैव ह्रियते ह्यवशोऽपि सः जिज्ञासुरपि योगस्य शब्दब्रह्माति वर्तते प्रयत्नाद्यतमानस्तु योगी संशुद्धकिल्बिषः अनेकजन्म संसिद्धस्ततो याति परां गतिम् तपस्विभ्योऽधिको योगी ज्ञानिभ्योऽपि मतोऽधिकः कर्मिभ्यश्चाधिको योगी तस्माद्योगी भवार्जुन योगिनामपि सर्वेषां मद्गतेनान्तरात्मना श्रद्धावान् भजते यो मां स मे युक्ततमो मतः.
Om Tat Sat Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvare Dhyana Yogo Nama Shashtodhyayaha.
Those who fulfill their duties here, not impelled by the fruits of work, such yogis are renunciates, not those who merely forsake deeds when they are no longer attached to objects or experience, giving up all other pursuits. In yoga, they have mastery, a yogi whose mind is fulfilled by this wisdom, by knowing God, looks the same way on everyone, enemies, friends, sinners, and saints. A yogi in deep solitude, whose mind and body are controlled, free from attachment and desire, should meditate upon the self, withdrawing to a wholesome place, neither too lofty nor too low, making a firm seat for oneself, cushioned by grass, deerskin, and cloth, fixing the mind on a single point, sense and thought movements all restrained. Seated there, one should meditate for purity of mind and heart, head, neck, and body held erect, remaining steady, motionless, gazing toward the tip of the nose, looking not at anything else. The yogi meditating thus, whose mind is always well controlled, attains nirvana, perfect peace, in a state of union with me, like a lamp in a windless place, does not flicker, the same is true for yogis whose minds are controlled, meditating upon the self, when their thoughts have finally ceased, restrained by meditation strong, seeing the self with watchful minds, in the self they remain content. Having attained that lofty state, no greater gain can they describe. Thus established they will remain, unshaken even by grave pain. So bit by bit withdraw your mind, firmly grasping the intellect. Fix your mind on the self alone, thinking not of anything else. Wheresoever your mind might stray, being impulsive and restless, bring your mind back repeatedly. Make it dwell only on the self. Those who always meditate thus easily gain the highest bliss. They see the self in everything and see everything in the self. Those who perceive me everywhere and perceive everything in me, constantly abiding in me, such yogis are the best of all.
O Krishna, my mind wanders much. It's stubborn and impassioned too. I find it so hard to control, like trying to restrain the wind.
O Arjuna, it's hard indeed to restrain a wandering mind, but with practice and detachment, you can bring it under control.
Those who from yoga fall away before they gain perfection here, do they not then become lost souls, stranded like isolated clouds?
Not here nor in their later lives will their efforts ever be lost, because no one who strives for God shall to misfortune fall again. They might go to heavenly worlds and dwell in peace for countless years, or be reborn in a pious home. Such a birth here is rare indeed. Whatever wisdom they once held will be regained in later lives. Then they shall continue again for perfection to further strive. The yogi, when cleansed of all sins, by effort and restraint of mind, gains perfection through many births, lastly reaching the goal supreme.